When we think of bank heists, people often paint a picture of masked robbers, high-speed chases, and daring getaways. But the reality is often far more complex, and sometimes the most audacious thefts happen without a single gunshot fired. The world's biggest bank heist wasn't committed by a gang of masked criminals storming into a vault. It was executed through meticulous planning, sophisticated cyber infiltration, and a level of deception that left financial experts in shock. This is the untold story of the greatest bank heist in history, a theft so massive that it sent shockwaves across global banking institutions, exposed major security vulnerabilities, and redefined the nature of financial crime. The setup, a heist unlike any other. The story begins in February 2016, when the Bangladesh Bank, the Central Bank of Bangladesh, became the target of a cyber heist so daring and well coordinated that it managed to siphon off millions of dollars before authorities even realized what was happening. Unlike conventional bank robberies that rely on brute force, this one was orchestrated through digital means by hackers who infiltrated the bank's computer network and manipulated the global financial system from behind a screen. The criminals exploited a weak link in the bank's security infrastructure, gaining access to its SWIFT Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication System, a global network used by financial institutions to transfer money securely. Once inside, the hackers had the ability to send fraudulent transfer requests as if they were legitimate transactions initiated by the Bangladesh Bank itself. What followed was one of the most sophisticated acts of digital deception ever seen. The grand theft. $1 billion at stake. The attackers took full advantage of the weekend timing, launching their operation late on a Thursday when the bank was closed for business. They initiated dozens of fraudulent transfer requests, totaling nearly $1 billion, instructing the Federal Reserve Bank of New York to send money from Bangladesh Bank's account to various accounts in the Philippines and Sri Lanka. By the time anyone noticed, the money was already on its way. But fate intervened in a strange way. Of the $1 billion they attempted to steal, only $81 million successfully made it out. The reason? A simple spelling error. One of the transfer requests contained a typo in the name of a fake company. Shalika Foundation was misspelled as Shalika Foundation. This tiny mistake raised red flags at Deutsche Bank, which was processing one of the transactions. The error prompted the bank to seek clarification, ultimately delaying the transfer and preventing hundreds of millions more from being stolen. Meanwhile, the rest of the money that did go through had already entered the Philippine banking system, where it was quickly laundered through casinos and other financial channels, making it nearly impossible to trace. The aftermath. A global investigation unfolds as soon as the theft was discovered. Investigators from around the world launched a massive probe. The Bangladesh Bank, the US Federal Reserve, and law enforcement agencies from multiple countries scrambled to piece together how such a breach had occurred. What they uncovered was both astonishing and deeply concerning. The hackers had used malware to penetrate Bangladesh Bank's systems months in advance. They carefully studied the bank's operations, learning when and how transactions were processed. They even programmed their malware to erase digital footprints, delaying detection for as long as possible. The attack revealed serious flaws in the global financial system, especially in how secure transactions were handled. In the aftermath, security measures were tightened, and banks worldwide re-evaluated their cybersecurity infrastructure. SWIFT, the very backbone of global banking transactions, was forced to introduce new security protocols. The Bangladesh Bank, meanwhile, struggled to recover its lost funds, entering a legal battle with the institutions involved. Who were the masterminds behind the heist? To this day, the full identities of the criminals behind the Bangladesh Bank heist remain a mystery. However, multiple intelligence agencies, including the FBI, believe that the heist was linked to the North Korean cyber group known as the Lazarus Group. This state-sponsored hacking organization has been implicated in multiple high-profile cyber attacks, and evidence strongly suggests that they orchestrated this digital heist to fund North Korea's illicit activities. The attack was not just an act of cybercrime, it was part of a larger geopolitical strategy, raising fears about the vulnerabilities of financial institutions worldwide. Several individuals involved in laundering the stolen money were arrested, but the masterminds behind the actual hacking operation remain at large. The stolen funds, for the most part, were never fully recovered. Lessons from the world's biggest bank heist. The Bangladesh Bank heist was not just a robbery, it was a wake-up call. It highlighted the fact that in the modern era, The biggest financial threats no longer come from armed criminals breaking into vaults. They come from sophisticated cyber attackers who can manipulate systems from halfway across the world. This heist forced banks and financial institutions to rethink their security measures. It demonstrated the weaknesses in interbank communication networks and the dangers of outdated cybersecurity protocols. In response, institutions invested heavily in AI-driven fraud detection, stronger encryption methods, and multi-layered authentication systems. But despite these improvements, the heist remains a stark reminder that cybercrime is evolving at an alarming rate. The future of financial security. The Bangladesh bank heist serves as a case study for cybersecurity experts and financial professionals. It has been extensively analyzed in cybersecurity conferences, risk management discussions, and even in government intelligence briefings. The incident showed how cybercriminals can exploit even the most trusted financial systems, and it emphasized the need for continuous vigilance in the digital age. With cyber threats growing more sophisticated by the day, financial institutions must remain proactive, constantly adapting to new challenges. Hackers are not just after money. They seek to disrupt economies, influence geopolitics, and expose weaknesses in even the most secure networks. The Bangladesh bank heist remains the largest cyber theft in history, and while measures have been taken to prevent a similar attack, the underlying vulnerabilities of the financial world are far from eliminated. This heist was not just about stolen money, it was a bold statement about the future of financial crime. A final thought: the biggest heist in history didn't involve ski masks, guns, or a dramatic getaway. It was carried out from behind a keyboard, in the shadows of cyberspace. The criminals never stepped foot inside the bank they robbed, and yet they walked away with millions. This is the new reality of financial crime, and as technology advances, the next great heist may already be in the making. The only question is, will we be ready for it?